The videos are back, yay. This week I'm talking about parabens. Now, there is so much to say about parabens, and my column is only 215 words normally. So there was loads I wanted to say and I couldn't, so I just wanted to fill in a few gaps. And also I wanted to talk about some of the brands that I couldn't fit in because I can only choose 6, as you know. To start from the beginning, parabens are a collection of chemicals that come under an umbrella term, and basically what they are is preservatives. And these preservatives are used across the board in the cosmetics industry in everything from shampoo and shaving gel to foundation, body lotions, moisturisers, you name it, they're used a lot. There are lots of chemicals under the umbrella term of paraben. Most of them you can tell because they'll have a derivative of the word paraben in their name. And generally, if something doesn't say it's paraben-free, it has parabens in it, you can safely assume. Now, there's been some controversy around parabens. There are 2 main areas that people are worried about. The first one, which I tackle in the column because I think it's the one of most concern to people, is the suggestion that parabens cause cancer, specifically breast cancer, seems to be the main one. Now, there has been some study done on this, and there have been a disproportionate number of news reports about those few studies. But as it stands, actually no link has been proven between parabens and any form of cancer, and that's just, at the moment, the facts as they are. There was a study done, which I've read, about how traces of parabens were found in breast cancer cells. The problem with this study is that it didn't compare levels of paraben in non-cancerous cells, and the naysayers of this study point out that parabens are in everything. They're in the food we eat, as well as cosmetics, as well as a number of other products on the market. So one can safely assume that there are traces of them in our in normal tissue, in healthy cells. So it's a bit of a flawed study. In my opinion, I completely respect anybody who wants to avoid parabens, to be on the safe side completely. But it would be dishonest of me to suggest that I don't use things with parabens in, because I do, and I'm personally not concerned about the link, the suggested link with cancer. I don't know, I sort of take the view that everything gives you cancer if you read all the papers, and certain papers do have a habit of really pouncing on certain studies to their own ends, to suit their own ends. And at the moment, I'm personally not worried about parabens because there is no proven link whatsoever between parabens and cancer. The other accusation levelled against parabens, which actually carries more weight, I think, is that they are more likely to cause allergies in those with sensitive skin. Now, this is something I do believe. It makes complete and utter sense to me that if you have very sensitive skin, the fewer chemicals you subject your skin to, the better. That seems like utter common sense to me. And I know friends who have very sensitive skin who find that the purer the product they use, the less reaction they're going to get. And this seems completely feasible to me. So going paraben-free is a good option if you have very sensitive skin, or sometimes if one product has really made you flare up, switching to an equivalent without parabens may fix the problem. Sometimes you become allergic to things like parabens during pregnancy when you're sort of on red alert for allergies anyway, or you will just go through sensitive patches in your life, and then paraben-free is a good option. Also, the other thing about paraben-free is I can't see why more companies aren't being paraben-free, in that if sufficient quantities of people are worried about parabens, and they seem to be, and sufficient quantities of people say they are irritated by the inclusion of parabens in products, then it seems fair to me to just sort of try and avoid using them. The problem, as ever, is parabens are cheap and they're readily available, and you get different grades of parabens. You can get higher grade preservatives, lower grade preservatives. Obviously, the cheaper the product, the more likely you are to get a low grade preservative, and so on. So I'm glad that the paraben-free sort of movement is taking off, and it really is. I had to choose 6 brands for this column, but I mean I could have chosen 30 or 40, and you'll see in the picture I've got lots and lots. I'm holding lots of products that are paraben-free. Some whole ranges are paraben-free, and some categories within a range are paraben-free. So I'm just going to talk through a few of them now that I either missed out in the column or wanted to talk about in more detail. So the first lot of products you have are the sort of premium natural, organic end of the market, they tend to be paraben free. So brands like Gelique, big favourite of mine. Gelique's a beautiful brand. All their products are lovely. Every single one of them is paraben free. The same goes for Ren. As you'll know from the column, Ren's a real favourite of mine. It's lovely product, lovely packaging, combining science and natural extracts, and all of it is paraben free. You'll see these sorts of modern natural brands will tend to be paraben free. Elemental Herbology is a lovely brand. It's sold in Space NK. It's not cheap, but it's not stupid money either, and that's all paraben free. Another brand that I really like a lot is This Works, which is a brand created by a former beauty, well, actually she's still a beauty journalist, sorry, Kathy Phillips from Vogue. She launched this brand, This Works. It's a brilliant brand, again, combining science with natural extracts, and all of it is paraben free. Big fan of that one. Oskia, this brand I love. You can only get it online at the moment and from Urban Retreat in Harrods. This is Estelle and Tealed. It's a Scandinavian brand. It's all organic. If something says it's organic, by the way, it's always paraben free. This body oil, Neroli, is just bliss, and this hand cream, which I've featured before. But they also do facial serums, moisturisers and so on. Then Hourglass, when it comes to makeup, most of the big makeup brands do still use parabens in areas. Hourglass is a lovely premium brand that you buy in Liberties, and it's paraben free, and the most beautiful products. They do a lovely primer called 28, which is fantastic, and that's totally paraben free. Then going a bit down the price bracket, there are some lovely brands coming through. I really like this brand. It's called SOS, First Aid Beauty, FAB. And it's sold in Boots, and it's sort of mid-price. So it's not on a special counter, it's just on a little stand. And it's kind of more expensive than your L'Oreal and your Nivea, but less expensive than your premium. And it's all paraben free, which is really impressive at the price point. There's no chemicals, colorants, no parabens, everything's allergy tested, fragrance free. It's a really good range. They've got some really great products and great for sensitive skin. They've got real kind of problem solving products, hence the name First Aid Beauty. And then Nukes, before you write in and tell me in comments, Nukes is not entirely paraben free across the board, but almost all of it is paraben free. So the vast majority of their products are paraben free, and they're working on the last bit. This cream here is paraben free. It's First Expression Lines Cream. It's a brilliant moisturiser, perfect if you're kind of in your late 20s, early 30s, and you're just starting to see your first fine lines. I love Nukes. It's such a good brand, and as I say, they're working to be fully paraben free, and there's only a few kind of products left that aren't. But there are some other brands. Oh, Balance Me I wanted to mention as well. Balance Me, another mid-price range. Gorgeous brand. No parabens and lots of lovely oils, and it's all kind of non-comedogenic, so it doesn't block pores and stuff. But I also wanted to talk to you about some cheaper brands that you may not realise are paraben free. Obviously there are brands like Lush in the mass market that you would expect to be paraben free, and it is. But there are also brands within the real kind of mass market, supermarket products that are trying to push paraben free across the board, which I think is really admirable. So for starters, for example, did you know that Palmer's is now paraben free? So everybody in the world knows what Palmer's is. You can buy it anywhere, it's very cheap. You can buy it in the supermarket, in Boots, Superdrug, wherever. All their products are based on cocoa butter. I think they do the odd one with olive oil, and they're really kind of natural, very rich, very moisturising products. They do this lovely scrub, which I'm a big fan of, and lots of stretch mark products for mums and so on, as well as their classic cocoa butter body lotion. All of Palmer's, as of this year, is paraben free. So they've worked really hard to get rid of all their parabens, and now any Palmer's product that you buy is without them. The other brand I wanted to show you isn't paraben free across the board, but they have categories that are. So Superdrug, who, as far as I can see, when I was researching this column, seemed to be doing more than anyone on the high street to stamp out parabens. Obviously, they have a million different categories within their stores, and it's going to take them a long time to change formulations. But they are launching ranges without parabens from scratch. So this range, which I've spoken to you about before, Simply Pure for dehydrated and sensitive skin. It's got no fragrance in it, no parabens, it's hypoallergenic, tested by dermatologists and so on. Such good value. It's really, really cheap. I think the serum is £3 or something, and it's a lovely serum. I've heard from readers that they're really getting on well with it. It's completely paraben free, and Superdrug have also launched various other products recently, hand creams and so on, that are paraben free, and they seem to be working quite hard to do what they can to get rid of parabens, which at that price point is good, I think, because as I say, parabens are the cheapest way to go. Another brand which has categories that are paraben free is Nivea Visage. I love Nivea Visage. It's a very, very hard working, good set of products. I recommend them quite a lot. I've said it a million times, but if you don't have much money to spend on cosmetics, spend it what you have with someone who has tons of money, because so much money goes into research and development. Nivea Visage have this range called Pure and Natural, and it's without parabens. And I mean, it's really kind of natural. It uses argan oil and kind of tested by dermatologists, really, really good on sensitive skin. No parabens, no silicones, no colorants, no mineral oils, and at a really good price point. You're talking about sort of £5-6, and they're really, really, genuinely really good creams. Another brand which you may not have heard of, which I really like, is Dr. Organic. Again, it's organic, so it doesn't have parabens in it, and the products are really good value. They do lots with manuka honey, lots with rose oil and so on. They have a really big product range, and they're all quite, sturdy, good products. There are other brands across the range. There are some Boots ranges that don't have parabens, and I do feel, in general, I saw some Asda products that weren't that didn't include parabens. I do think in general there is a move towards paraben free now, so the main thing is that you have a choice. As I say before, I don't personally, and it's only my opinion, please don't tell me I'm wrong because it's only my opinion, I personally don't feel parabens are dangerous, but I do completely accept the argument that they can cause irritation, because any chemical can. So if that's you, if you're looking for something less irritating on your sensitive skin, or if you just object to the use of chemicals, or if you are worried about the studies, and that is absolutely your choice and you're right, then vote with your person and move towards the paraben-free ranges. The whole thing is gathering pace, and I think we'll see an awful lot more in the future. Anyway, I hope that's cleared things up a little bit for you, and it's good to be back, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.